made out with me afterwards, or I made out with him.
You wish. He's gross.
Don't worry, we're cousins.
Do you have the time to listen to me whine about my box of Ultimate Masters? I am one of those overdramatic fools, unlucky to the bone, no doubt about it. Good.
Oh, that's it. You're not gonna do that.
I'm not gonna go.
Sometimes I give myself
that's the best part.
creeps.
No, that'd be weird.
Sometimes you lose at Ultimate Master Boxes opening. Green Day.
Sometimes. Yeah. Green Day.
Ooh. Wait.
Name of the song.
Give me a second. Come crack it up and I just
Dead Air.
My stone. Oh, fuck. I can't think of the name.
I'll give it to you in a basket.
Basket case.
Yeah. There you go.
There we go. I actually wouldn't have got it until you gave me that because I was just like,
basket case, Green Day.
Very nice.
That is it. Barely changed a word.
You're such a cheater because you're just fucking. I'm just gonna start singing songs.
I changed like 4 words in there.
That's terrible. I mean, it was good, but the thing is, it's so cheating. And the thing is, I stressed the crap out of mine.
My box of Ultimate Masters, overdramatic, unlucky.
Those are your 4 words.
That's like, well, there's a lot in my box of Ultimate Masters. But I think that's fair enough.
All right. Welcome to CommanderSmiths.
We are the CommanderSmiths.
I'm Adam Smith.
And I am not disappointing, Lowry Smith. Don't worry, we're cousins.
Well, yeah, don't worry. We are cousins. Welcome to episode number 43.
Thank you.
This is.
I mean, you're welcome. Thank you for listening.
I'm very confused now. We actually just got done opening up our Ultimate Masters box.
Yep.
So.
And I did not just write that song. I knew going into this that I could just write it negatively towards myself, and that would be accurate.
Do we spoil what happened necessarily, or we kind of give a little hint to it?
You got a hint.
All right, Larry lost.
In value,
but yeah, War was very different.
So we did play War, and at least it was very enjoyable opening the box that way.
A lot more fun to do it that way, and I think visually it's going to be a lot better. And we figured out a thing for you guys. We figured out what we're going to do. We're doing fucking shots.
We're dirty shots. Not just any shots. It's just gross shots. So
we have a wheel of misfortunes that we spin, and we have a list of shots. This time we had 6 of them. We had Concrete Mixer. Let me see. I got it right here. Concrete Mixer, Black Death, Liquid Steak, Eggermeister, Smoker's Cough, Prairie Fire, and Tapeworm. Actually, I think I cut out Prairie Fire and Eggermeister because I didn't want to go buy the eggs, the hard-boiled eggs they have in there. So we had 5 different shots. So from now on,
something like that. Yeah, we're just going to get to that dirty point, shots.
We're going to ask you guys to give us some gross shot ideas to add to our list.
How about we can't say what we took tonight, or we...
It was...
Well,
but spoiler alert, jeez.
But I think we can say that the burps are pretty bad currently.
Yep. For some reason,
not the best.
We both have the burps because you know what? Lowry made out with me afterwards, or I made out with him.
You wish.
Don't worry.
God, he's gross.
Don't worry, we're cousins.
No.
Hey,
you can't just use that for everything.
It totally fits.
I know.
That's what she said. Yes. This beginning of this episode is awesome. Anyway, so this episode 43, basically we're going to be talking about our box opening. I also did...
This whole episode is going to be Ultimate Masters.
Right.
So if you don't like Ultimate Masters, fast forward so that we at least get the download and like
exactly.
But you don't have to listen.
I think we get it already. As soon as I start downloading it, yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, as long as
thanks for getting to this point.
Yeah.
But if you don't like Ultimate Masters, what's wrong with you? Because this is freaking sweet. These boxes were awesome, right?
Yeah.
So this episode is going to be basically the box open between us with the Ultimate Masters not dueling boxes, battle boxes, War Edition, which is the way we're going to do it from now on because it is a lot better visually too. And then we're gonna get into. I got 10 boxes of Ultimate Masters that I opened over the weekend,
which is, I mean, it's crazy. But
originally Lowry was gonna help with that. We were gonna shoot this all on Saturday, but somebody got the stomach bug, myself and my son at the same time. It was fun, and so I told Lowry to stay away, and so
I appreciated that.
We shot everything tonight, and then we kind of finish up with...
The funny thing would have been, though, like you brought it up last night, I was like, I wish I would have been there, because if he would have had to take a shot, it would have been really bad.
I told him, I said,
it would have been like front end, back end, all the ends.
It doesn't matter what shot it was. I was going to puke last night if I had taken it.
I would have loved watching it like come out of your nose.
Yeah, you were like, can I please come up now? But yeah, so yesterday was a little rough. Midway through the day, I was able to get through things, and that's how I got the videos going.
So if I get sick, I'm going to be pissed.
So actually, those videos are up and running now. Our battle boxes will not be up until probably midweek, because that takes a little bit longer. So as you're hearing this now, there are 3 videos up of the 10 boxes being open, so you can check that out.
So
we'll have that
1
linked
through
here.
5, 6 through 10,
and then the ultimate box toppers.
10 box toppers together.
Right. So
that'll be exciting.
It's pretty sweet. So we're going to kind of break down that, what the value turned out, if these are worth going out and buying. And then we kind of follow that up with what? Specific cards.
Yeah, we'll talk about a list of just like random cards that we think that you can invest in that are mostly in other formats. We'll talk about some smaller foils, and then we'll also talk about some commander cards that would be good to invest in.
Top 10.
Yeah, but not in any order. Again, we don't do orders. That's like a lot more work. It took us like
10
an hour
in a random
to
order.
Cut 15 cards out of 10 in both these lists.
We're like, I want this card. No, let's trade that card. We're like trading cards back and
forth. You
forth.
can sit there and debate cards all day. So we're not putting them in the top 10. It's more like you're all pretty intelligent people, so figure it out.
So we like all 10 of these cards is kind of what it is.
That's more of what it is.
We'll kind of give you a value of what they're at, or what you should look at buying them at, and what we think they will recover to as well. So
let's get to it.
Should we get to it, or should we chase something down, because I have burps and they taste really gross.
All right. So
this is the best beer in the world.
I don't know if that's true either.
The name of it, I should say.
What is the name?
Bitches Brew.
So this is Bitches Brew.
Ooh, that is super dark.
And this is from
Bitches Brew.
Dogfish Head. You can take a sip. This is it's wood aged.
Well, I gotta cheers you. Well, that makes me a little suspicious if you're.
No.
No, go ahead, Adam.
You're fine.
It's just my piss. Go ahead, take a sip.
No, that was officially capped. You're fine.
Boop. Cheers. It tastes like something we've had before. I don't remember which one. It's not bad. I like it. It's a dark beer.
Adam,
I am describing colors. Describing shades. It is dark.
This is how dark is the head? It's pretty creamy.
Mm-hmm.
So this has been aging in my cellar. Which sounds better than sitting in my basement.
Yeah. You have a cellar?
Yeah.
That you just age beer? How classy, Lowry. I've been there. No, you are a liar. You mean your workshop in the basement.
I'm a connoisseur, if you will say.
Next to your furnace, right? That's where this was sitting?
This is a lot mellower than it was a couple months ago.
Nice.
It's pretty good. It was a lot more woody last time.
Bitches Brew. It's the name of the episode.
Well, it
Bitches Brew.
The aftertaste is pretty gone at this point. It's a nice dark beer. So
it has a nice little...
I suggest if you like dark beers, it's good.
A nice smell to it. Anyways, what are we doing first? Oh, yeah. Box opening.
Your deal.
No, are we doing the box opening? You want to talk about that at all? Are we kind of talking about that?
I don't know. Fuck it.
Well, what do you think about the box?
How do I feel after getting done with it? Like, okay, so let's say that I am hypothetically 0-5 for CommanderSmiths. This feels the least bad, if that makes sense, at losing. So we got our boxes for like $265.
Mm-hmm.
So my kid isn't getting any Christmas presents this year. But like at the end of the day, it felt like really great value. Like a ton of packs that I opened, I'm like, oh, that's awesome. That feels good.
Your start was amazing too.
The start was crazy. But also like when you're going from 265, you almost take it out of it because we spent that money a month or so ago at this point. And so if I had paid like $15 for a pack, and like I've said in the past, don't buy 2 or 3 because you're going to get freaking gypped.
Yeah,
because overall, I felt really good.
Once you got the
and that box topper I got, woo boy, that was really good.
That was the deal breaker right there.
That was the deal breaker.
That really set your box up.
It wasn't the worst one.
Nope, it wasn't the worst one. You were correct on that. Damn close.
It might be though. Eventually.
We're not supposed to drink beer both at the same time. Because then it's just quiet.
Just cut that part.
Like, no, I will. I definitely will cut that part. Everybody's going to be like, what is he talking about? There's no silence. We both drank our beer at the same time. It was just silent.
It's just, well, but we're both like, not the worst one. Yeah. Drink, pause. It'll be perfect.
But yeah, so value-wise, I guess we'll get into should I just get into the 10 boxes then, kind of, in that aspect, or should we talk about?
Well, I mean, you have a lot more like experience. Like you went into the box opening here, the battle boxes, like probably already feeling good, confident in what your box is roughly going to do.
That whole opening, though, I felt so. You guys really should watch the video because it's really sweet doing the war style. Lowry was kicking my ass the entire time.
Felt really good.
So we do round by round by each pack, and we're revealing the foil and then the rares. And needless to say, I made a pretty good comeback there, and then the ending happens. But it felt, because of you winning so many rounds so early, like you were so much further ahead, and it felt like my box was just crap. But then when you came back through to actually count everything up, the value, it's crazy how many $15, $20, $50, $40 cards are in there, and your value just starts skyrocketing. And that was the first time I actually calculated all the uncommons and commons in there, because when I did the 10 boxes, there's 10 fucking boxes.
Yeah, so you just went on those boxes.
I went $4 and up. Yeah, so
we went from our normal boxes, which is $1 and up.
Right. And with these, like we've said before, master boxes, when they do these special sets like that, the lowest prices are going to be typically right now, and then your prices should rebound on certain cards, and that's what we're going to kind of discuss here in a little bit here.
And so I guess, like, talking about that, what is your plan with these 10 boxes?
So all 10, 11 of them now, I am actually going to hold on to them for 6 months to a year.
That is the plan. Just hold
on to them, and I don't want to sell. The only problem, and we've kind of discussed this, I don't know what the box toppers are going to do. I have no flipping clue what the box toppers are going to do. Are they going to go up? Are they going to go down? I don't. That's the one.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, I would treat them with like, as really important as decently rare, because there's 40. Was there 40 box toppers?
40, yep.
So, and then you split that among how many boxes were actually sold. Was it an equal distribution, or are you actually going to get like more uncommons versus the mythics and rares? I mean, technically, we don't know any of those numbers. It might not. It's probably an equal distribution.
So out of 10 and now 11, 12 boxes that we've opened, one uncommon. I got one Eternal Witness.
Okay.
And then, oh gosh, I'm going to remember all of them off the top of my head. I did get
two Vengevines.
Two Vengevines. Vengevines, as I like to call them. Which I realized as I was cutting all that, I was like, I've been calling this Vengevine for the last whatever years. And was it Dave sent in, he put a comment, and he was like, I love how you say Vengevine. And I was like, actually, after I recorded that, I realized I've been reading that card completely wrong, and I've been calling it Vengevine.
You're just trying to compete against Goldfish Seth
right.
for like messing up
words. No, it's just my dyslexia.
Yeah, we might as well blame it on
that. Exactly. So, but I got 2 of those. I got a Tarmogoyf in that. That was my big box.
Yeah.
So I guess here, let's just start breaking down the numbers with all of those. So I had 3 boxes out of the 10. So we're going to go back to the 10 instead of adding R2. Our boxes fell in the middle. Our boxes fell in the...
For Battle Box, we were in the middle. We were 7 and 8.
Yep, 7 and 8
out of the 12
boxes. out of all the 10 boxes, there were 3 of them that were under what we paid. So I had 3 boxes that were one box was $247, one was $258, and one was $257. So those are my low end boxes. But I did have 2 boxes that were over $500. Those had, let's see, Tarmogoyf was in the one that was the most expensive, so that was $522.
Your box topper Tarmogoyf?
Right, Tarmogoyf, okay. Yep. And then Cavern of Souls, which is a $173 card right now for the box topper. That was $500. Then your next ones were $429 that had Kozilek in it. Eternal Witness was in my third highest box at $434.
What is that box topper sitting at right
85.
Now? 85? Oh, yeah.
So, and then let's see what else we got. So it was number 3, number 4. I already said that. So number 5 was 400. Ancient Tomb was in there, so it was 130. So it isn't all dependent on your box topper because, Eternal Witness is a little bit lower. Not as low as yours.
Yeah. We're just going to dig on me on this entire episode.
Okay, so now that I actually have it in front of me, so we have Vengevine, which is a mythic. Vengevine, yes. Cavern of Souls, so we have Ancient Tomb is a rare. So we got...
Correct.
So 2 mythic, rare, temporal...
Manipulation.
That's a rare. Caracas, that's a rare.
That's mythic.
Vengevine. Tarmogoyf, Eternal Witness, so that's my 1 uncommon Platinum Empyrean, and Kozilek were the box toppers out of them.
And so, overall, do you have an average for the 10 boxes that you got?
Yeah. So, after calculating everything out, came out to... So, I spent $2,650 on these. The value was $3,695. So an average box of $369.50.
So $369. And so over a period, so we can semi break it down. If you're buying a box for MSRP, it would be really hard for me to justify that at $335.
Right. That's not that big of a difference.
When we bought it at $265, I'm pretty happy with those numbers because that's basically the low end of your 3 of the low boxes were I'd feel kind of bad if I got $248, but it's only $17 off of what you paid for it. Not awful. But if you're, the $285 is what I was seeing it at right now.
Mm-hmm.
I would start questioning it.
Yeah.
Do I want to buy a box right now? But if you're getting an eBay 10% off, probably good to go on that one.
Because not only are you getting the eBay 10-15% off, you also are getting eBay bucks, which because of buying all these, I have probably $50-60 in eBay bucks that I'll have next month that I can start to spend. So it's free money right there. But another thing with this, so breaking down the numbers a little bit more, profit total is about $1,045.
Okay.
But if you take in eBay, their commission, PayPal commission, your shipping, probably only more around $500 if I was to sell all the top cards that are over $4. So it's a okay price. I mean, it's a good price. I gained $500 selling all those cards back.
So
I got to put in the work.
$2,300 to make $500.
Right.
Okay.
But that's the current value. So the thing about everything right now is the prices are going to rise up. I mean, breaking down the top, basically, I don't know, top 10, 20 cards in the set. If you go, Lily,
and these are essentially all staples in some sort of format where they're
and a lot of them
essentially
have been
the best cards
reprinted already in a master set before and have recovered to this. So what I'm quoting here is kind of going back to, I was taking the other master set that they were in and then taking the mean price, but what it was 3-4 months ago.
Such a mean price.
So, for example, Liliana. I pulled 5 Lilianas in those 10 boxes.
That'd be kind of nice, yeah.
Right now, sitting at 70. Those were sitting a good price at 90. I mean, they've gotten over 100, but just a few months ago they were at $90.
And you feel like that 70 can go up to 90 pretty
easily.
And so out of that 5, that's another $100 as long as you sit on it, the 6 months to a year that you were talking.
Yep. So, and then you got Karn is at 60 up to 90 as well.
And you have kind of you have that ceiling of 90. You know it's probably not going to go over that. You definitely put more in the market, but give it time. Tron is a very heavily played deck in Modern.
He's such a fucking good planeswalker. Cavern of Souls sitting at 55 up to 80. Everybody fucking hates counterspells. Get those fuckers. Play as many. I mean, I want Cavern of Souls in standard in every fucking format possible.
You're just still bitter about it from Arena.
I texted him earlier this week. I was like, hey, have I told you the 1,000th time that I freaking hate counterspells? Like, so much so that I just want to quit as soon as I see one. Just be like, all right, you win. I don't even care. You
Concede.
win.
Well, and this is a Modern Humans deck. I put this in every one of my tribal decks in Commander. I think it's really good. So,
and then you got Snapcasters at 55 up to 75 easily.
And this is a highly played card in Modern and Legacy and Vintage, and I play it in my Commander decks. Like, it's kind of just everywhere it can be played.
And then you got Tarmogoyf, which can go over this amount, but it's at 55. I had it at $75 a couple months ago.
Can get up to it.
Yeah, I mean that was hovering over 100, but in 75 is kind of a more realistic price. I
think that's a realistic price that I can get up to and that you would sell. I mean, this card has been almost $200 on its own before all of these reprints. But
one card you pulled in your box, Noble Hierarch, $50 right now. Easily get back up to $80.
It's used in a ton of Modern decks, and it's great in your Bant EDH decks as well.
And then you got Engineered Explosives at 30. That's pretty good. Up to 90, because this has been printed a couple times already, and the price, like I said, a couple months ago, was at $90. You had a little bit more on.
I'm not as big at this one. I'm not.
It's not something I'd like to use with that, but it was at 90, and it has been in a master set that it was.
I guess one thing that the reason why we're kind of talking about these is these are mostly just like the staples in formats, and we know and we believe they're going to recover pretty well. And so, but they are all pretty high priced, and so it's more like, do you want to invest in these? For me, I don't think I want to invest in them.
Yeah.
But these are the high ticket things. If you're buying this box, like, hey, I want to get this, don't get rid of it right away.
Right.
Hold on that 6 leg, follow kind of what Adam is doing.
A couple things. If you bought the box and you got these in your box, hold on to it.
But for me, like right now, there are definitely some cards that I want to go and pick up.
Exactly.
I want to go and get them probably within roughly a month. That's about where I still want to keep an eye on what they're doing. Like, Goldfish does a really good job with their graphs, seeing what's being bought, what's not. And so, but I plan on buying Tarmogoyf.
And the other part to it is, if how we play our command. I know he keeps. Everybody has their way of playing, doing their play groups, but having the one copy. If you don't have a certain card in your collection, this would be the time to go get it, because this is as cheap as you're going to get it. Not necessarily if you're trying to spec and make money off of it. This is as cheap as you're going to have to get it.
This is going to help your collection.
Right.
If you want 1 or 4, probably not.
If I wouldn't have pulled Bitter Blossom. Bitter Blossom, I did not pull a Bitter Blossom or Monovault in the entire 10 boxes, but then I pulled a Bitter Blossom in the 11th box.
And there was no Manivolts out of any of the 12 boxes between the two of us open.
So that would have been one that I actually would have gotten picked up, and it is also on the list at $26, and seeing that jumping up to $40 easily, because it has been printed before. Then, like we just said, Monovault actually is at $25, and you can get the revised edition at $25, because that one I wouldn't necessarily.
That's a Commander card.
Yeah, I wouldn't say necessarily go pick that up at all. We're gonna skip Caracas, but it is at 25, go up to 65, but that's not used with us at all with Commander stuff.
Yeah, and I think this printing might have killed that price.
Right.
So.
But Demonic Tutor, freaking sweet art, is at $20, $22, $23. Could get back up to 50.
You have a dual deck version of Demonic Tutor that's going to be sitting at 40, 45, and I don't think this is going to affect it at all. I can see this going up to that point because it's sweet art.
The art is awesome in this. Ancient Tomb, 23 up to 45. Celestial Colonnade, we have that at 22 up to 55.
That's a great Modern card.
Dark Depths, 22 up to 40.
This is a great casual card.
Emmercool, our favorite, but we can't play with.
And he smashes face in Legacy and Modern constantly, so he's
the only Modern decks I have. I always try to have him in there. That's like my win is just cheat Emmercool. But that's 21 right now. Get that up to 40, and then you got Kozilek as well. That can be up to 40 as well, and it's a $20 card.
Ulamog can help.
Right, Ulamog's up there. He's down to 16.
Those two are really good casual cards. Like people love sneaking them into decks, and I don't blame them because Mill sucks. And then our
our last ones are really that we really want to discuss was we have that in our other list later. But Phyrexian Altar is 15 right now, up to 30.
And this card is generally used in Commander as like a combo card. I don't really think it's used in Legacy or Vintage or anything. Not Modern legal, but it was just really hard and rare to get from Invasion before. One
thing we had kind of a discussion about was temporal manipulation. That one's a little tough because it's like I don't know where that's going to go because it wasn't printed.
I think that one bottoms out. Yeah, we didn't really talk about it, but it was from Portal Second Age, which was really rare and hard to get.
When you talk about Portal, if that's the only printing,
this card was over $100 in that, right? So, in my opinion, this is just like, there's a couple of 5 mana take an extra turn cards that are sorceries. This is not Modern playable. It's a Commander card. You're not using it in Legacy. I would almost look at it like Imperial Recruiter from M25.
Right.
That was a $300 card. Now it's sitting at $30. That's what I would expect Portal cards to do when they're super expensive after a reprint. They're gonna be severely less than what they originally were.
What price would you feel comfortable investing in buying a few of those, thinking that it's going to jump up? Like
temporal manipulation. What is it at right now?
$17 bucks, $15.
I wouldn't.
I was thinking around 10 is when I would start feeling comfortable because when it's at almost $18 right now.
10 is probably my max. I don't know if I like it even at that. You have so many different options that are much cheaper than that. Like that's pretty much the most expensive extra turn card there is.
Is it though? 5 for extra turn. What's the other one? That's
like cost wise. Like
money wise.
Like you can get every other take an extra turn for much cheaper.
I thought you were talking about casting wise. I was like, it's just the exact same casting cost as what's the time? The one with the wave, the one that I love making the altered art with.
Temporal Mastery?
No. Is it the one that just tap 2 blue and 3 and take an extra
2 blue,
turn?
3 colorless sorcery. Yeah, it's the same card.
Yeah,
just different name.
Yeah,
but it's in Modern versus this is
right. It's only in Commander. Yeah.
So I wouldn't spend more than $10 on this card, in my opinion.
So after going through all that, of the cards that we know are going to come back up in price, like where the expected value is, that brought my price back up to $1,395 of profit. So if I'm just waiting,
so from 500 up to 1,300,
an additional.
Okay.
So really more around
an additional
1,395. So that's just with those top cards. We also did go through all the commons, uncommons of things that are only like 50 cents right now that we think also are going to recover and everything like that, which we'll kind of go through a little list of that in a little bit. But that's just with the cards that are $4 and over. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty nuts. If you just got to sit for 6 months on it.
And one thing to think about, like it depends on what you're buying a box for. For me, like buying this box, I went through it and I was like, I got some really great value. But like right afterwards, I told Adam, I was like, I kind of wish I got your box. Mm-hmm. Because for me, a lot of the good cards, I actually already had 4 ofs. Mm-hmm. Or I only needed 1. And I already had 1. So like nothing was super like new for me.
Out of my box, what was the things that you wanted?
Like, so I wanted like a Goryo's Vengeance because I would like to have 4 of them. I like it's a fun card to kind of play around with. So I'm glad that this was reprinted, and I'll probably go out and get a play set. But that was something that I didn't get. I wanted Back to Basics that you kind of got, and I didn't get that. Like, and there was one other card off the top. But like, I've talked about the cards that I plan on getting. Like Tarmogoyf, I want 4 of. Goryo's Vengeance, I want 4 of. I'll pick up 1 Back to Basics. Probably want 4 Through the Breach. I guess we'll talk about these other ones later, and this one as well. So
a lot of it,
I plan on spending way more money than I want to, but a lot of these cards are just kind of like way cheaper than they have been in a really long time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's an additional almost $1,500 added price after you wait 6 months. So,
and when I say that I'm going to buy these cards, we'll see.
Yeah, right.
We'll see if I buy them. But it's like those are my hopes and dreams type thing.
Do we want to mention what we kind of talked about right before the podcast? I mean,
what's that?
That
if you bring it up, that we have to talk about it.
Yeah, the increase of everything. Like that was kind of the crazy thing. I've been watching, we
can talk about that.
Before Ultimate Masters was actually coming out, everything's been on a decrease. They spoil it and then everything drops. So you look on Goldfish and you see the arrows pointing down.
And like cards are just going to start bottoming out, like that are really cheap, and people are flooding the market a little bit to their own detriment.
Race to the bottom, like everybody likes to say.
And I think that was definitely happening for a ton of cards. People were trying to get rid of their $80 Snapcaster Mages and try and get rid of them for $70, and then less.
Right. So the crazy thing is, it's been that until today. Like today,
this is Sunday night. It came out on a Friday, Saturday.
So yesterday, I was already looking at prices and everything was down. But as we're getting ready for the podcast and I'm pulling up our normal sites and all that, all I'm seeing is all the top cards. All the top like 100 cards are all going up. Not every single one, but a majority of them are. And I was just like, that's kind of weird. And then we got down to do the podcast, and I was like, check this out. Like everything's on the rise. All the
cards we just went over are going up. Those staples. And so the question is like, did we already hit our low point?
That would be crazy if that happened.
That would be insane. I don't believe that would be the case at this.
One thing we were kind of talking about is maybe some of the stores are pulling some of their stuff, so there might not be as much on there. Or what was one of your things that you were thinking?
I don't remember.
Well, one thought I thought was like, what if people are? Everybody's talking about that. Wait 6 months. And
sure. Yeah. This advice is not new. If you listen to other podcasts that talk about any sort of value, I'm sure they're giving you the same advice of hold for 6 months to a year on these really good cards, or even the lower cards.
And maybe stores or people are taking that advice and there isn't as much on there and the price is already starting to come up.
One thing
that
I see is difficult for a store to do is they are meant for turnover. So if they're buying product, opening it up, and then like hoarding it, like you're just not going to make money that way.
Right.
Because you could still get burned. They could still come out with a different product. Like you want to at least break even as a store because you have your overhead. But as individuals like me and you, we don't necessarily have that overhead. We're saying this is a really good buy. One thing that could be the case is that there isn't as much product as people were saying. Like I was seeing a lot of debate between this is going to be a limited product and other people going, look at how many boxes are being sold on eBay. It was like 8,000 on the last 10% off. And, there was that
but you
back
can't really
forth.
get a vibe of...
Exactly. But, it's hard to tell how much is a lot versus... And so it's kind of going like, people could just be sitting down going, oh, there isn't as much as I thought out there. And then prices start going up. Or they're not seeing it like... It's a little hard to gauge what that market is doing. I still don't... This isn't the bottom, in my opinion. I think it'll still go down.
Definitely. And it'd be crazy if it is. Like,
it would definitely be crazy.
If that was the bottom and then we're already going up, then this is pretty insane. Like
I would keep an eye on it. If it's a week from now and cards are still going up, you might want to just hop on that and just start grabbing cards if you wanted to. But it's just really hard for me to believe that it's going up already. And if that's the case, start actually go and buy a box. Go get boxes.
That would be actually probably the next step. You're probably right on that. If that's really...
Because if they're sitting at 285 and they're not moving up or anything, then you want to just start going and buying product because the singles aren't worth buying. So there's that
happy
give and
medium.
Take. It could be... I mean, that could actually be the case with the stores. Stores might not be cracking packs and selling individuals because they're not going to make their money back, but as a box, they would make their money. That could be what's going on as well.
Yeah, we'll see. Because it was just crazy to see every single one of those cards were going up, like all the top cards. So,
and when this is released, they might be going down again.
So, like, what the fuck are they talking about? Well, look at the goldfish map, because it did show an uptick.
It went up.
Well, that was kind of the interesting thing, because
$3 from 2 days ago.
Right. Well, and that's what I was saying to Larry, is like, well, the prices I have printed out are different than what I was looking at yesterday. Yeah. Like, it's kind of crazy. So let's move into our third segment. Is
it just going to be a second?
A segment. We're going to start off with it's kind of our top 10 list. Our first top 10 list is going to be more of the investment cards. So more cards we're going to talk about. Certain cards that you should actually pick up, not just what Lowry's favorites are of what he's going to pick up. We're going to kind of
But it's mostly my favorites.
Yeah. We're going to kind of give you an idea of, like, where these cards are and probably where you want to pick them up to, and then what they can actually rise up to. So kind of what I was talking about with the top cards there, these are more mid-range-ish of ones that you want to pick up.
I think these are, they're a lot cheaper, so you could potentially buy a lot more if you have the capital to do it.
So also more of an investment than doing it Liliana, where you're not going to buy like 15
it's hard. Yeah,
Lilianas.
It's hard for me to buy 15 Lilianas, even though
it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
You should make that money
like
back.
6,000, but you should make your money back. But again, like, that's hard to spend that kind of money.
Yeah.
And so these are a bit more where you can like buy more than 4 of and still potentially make a little bit more money off of it.
Yeah. So we have a top 10 list, but it's not in any order. It's just 10 cards that we think you should look into buying. So why don't you start us off with the first one?
Back to basics.
Back to the basics. I kept saying
I avoided making fun of you on that one. You've been saying it like that all night. I'm like, back to basics,
Adam.
Right.
Shut up, Lowry.
So right now, this card was sitting at, over 90? Or it was like $90. It was only printed in Urza Saga. Right now, it's down to about 15. So that kind of shows you that the supply is potentially meeting demand, but it was in a bunch of decks.
Yeah, Legacy,
when we were looking
Vintage,
at,
and everything.
What was going on, and so we felt like 15 was probably meeting to, like, it was pretty low, and we think that could recover pretty well. I think it'll at least double up to 30.
I think I had written down 60 to 70, but I just don't know because it was such an old printing of it.
That's the whole thing. I think with more out there may be more interest in it going
for
into
Commander, especially because how many? I've never seen this card played. For Commander.
That's because I traded mine a long time ago.
I've seen the card, and I think it might have been in your collection, but I've never seen it played. And that's the thing, is like, I didn't actually know it existed until, this was coming out, because it isn't a card that we necessarily deal with.
Yeah.
Blood Moon, which that's this basically, except it's almost more brutal because it's making it so you can't untap your stuff.
Yeah. So you're not even getting that colorless or like essential colorless.
It makes it so you can get your fetch lands, though. You tap, sacrifice, boom, they're gone. But everything else, it's your Gaea's Cradle is staying tapped.
That's at least 30 episodes.
Any chance I get to say it, I will say it.
I get you.
But yeah, so I'm definitely going to be using this card, maybe? I don't know.
Definitely maybe?
Yeah, I know. I went back and forth. I'm like, I don't play a lot of mono blue, and I don't like to make people not be able to play.
Yeah, I think that's your big thing. If you're going to be in mono blue where you're playing a ton of islands, I think this is a great card to be playing in Commander. I think this is not modern legal. This is a legacy vintage card if you're not playing it in Commander. So you could go back and forth. I want at least one from my collection at this point.
But
because I might want to hate out Gaea's Cradle. If everybody starts running it somehow.
You won't, because you'll never have it. All right, so then we move on to the next card.
Abolish the reserve list.
Through the Breach. You can pick this card up around 13 or so right now. It might be even different than what I just said, because I wrote this list, that was 3 days ago.
Friday or Thursday.
So it might be around $13-15, but you could see this card jumping back up to around $50. Is this one that you were actually saying you wanted to pick up?
Yeah, this is something that I want to be picking up. If I want to, like, this is the best way to probably cheat Emrakul into play.
Yes. We all love Emrakul.
And so it goes into some pretty cool decks, and it could easily recover if that deck goes on the upswing in Modern. I don't know how much, like, if I'm playing maybe a Reanimator deck in Commander, it'd be kind of a cool one-shot. It has Arcane, but that's, again, not really relevant.
Yeah.
They kind of screw the pooch on that one.
Unless they come up with Arcane again.
Yeah. Hey, let's make this bad mechanic more more frequent.
They might.
No. So, but I think it's kind of cool. This is probably the bottom of my list of what I would want my 4 of.
It has a big potential jump, though.
Yeah, it definitely does as an investment. I think because it was reprinted in Modern Masters 1 or 2, and then it went down and then it went 50. Back up. So you're kind of having this come back in, and then the question is that deck going to become more popular because the card is more readily available? And if it is, then you can see that spike happen again.
All right, next card.
We're going to talk about Fulminator Mage. This is a 2/2. You sacrifice it, destroy target guy's cradle.
Yeah, I was giving you the eyes. I'm like, oh,
you always give me the eyes. I couldn't tell the difference.
That's just because I'm addressing you with my eyes. Don't worry, we're cousins.
Yeah. This is the make awkward, like Lowry awkward episode.
Why are you turning red, Lowry?
Yeah, well. So
where do we go from
sitting
here?
around $8. Where do we go from here? I think marriage or whatever.
I don't think we can.
You have a ceiling of 25. I can easily see this card doubling from 8 up to 16. And I think that's generally my goal. Like, if you can see it doubling, that's great. If you can see it doing more, that's just gravy. Mm-hmm. So I can easily see this card getting up to like $16, $17. And it is played in Modern. I think it's a solid card, potentially in like Reanimator decks. Even in Commander, where you're like, hey, right, that's a cheap one. Boom, let's bring something back, kill another land. Like if somebody's just doing some crazy stuff.
I don't think I play with this one much in Commander. Have you put it in a deck yet?
I
don't think I've ever had that.
Not off the top of my head.
No, I haven't done that. One card I have played with, though, is All Is Dust.
Yeah.
All Is Dust is around $5. Probably recover around up to $20, I would think.
This card generally does bounce back because this was reprinted in a Modern Masters
set. So I was going to say, I think it was. It also
was a GP promo foil, which looks awesome. So I would actually probably look into that before anything. It looks gorgeous.
Well, now I want to see it. You just keep talking because... No, keep talking. That doesn't mean go quiet after I said it.
You could just cut this segment.
No, I want to see it.
No, you can still see it, but... It moved on you. The click.
Oh, that is pretty sweet. I do like that.
So that card's did not drop at this point. It's sitting around $23. So.
Well, it is a foil. Foils won't move as much. They typically don't, though. Like if you look at it, your non-foils really drop. I guess you got a little bit of a drop there.
Little dip.
$2-3 there for the foils. But yeah, it was Modern Masters 2, so 2015.
Actually, it looks like you could probably get an Ultimate Masters foil of All Is Dust for 10. Like that's probably the better value right there.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're probably right. Because what? Oh,
20,
it's a
20,
double
20.
up.
Yeah. So yeah, All Is Dust is going to be used in your artifact decks. It's used in Modern. Mm-hmm. It's a solid card. Mm-hmm. So we can easily see that recovering pretty solid. Next one that we're going to talk about is Containment Priest. This was a $20-$25 card for a while, only printed in Commander. Now you have this. This is used in a bunch of Legacy and Vintage decks. It's a 2/2. When it comes into play, if any creature comes into play, if it wasn't like cast from it exiles that card. So it hates on Reanimator decks. This card's sitting around $5 right now. It's a great hate card. If you have some sort of blink effects, like if you can do it to somebody else in your Commander games, it's a great card in that regard.
And if you pull the foil in your box like I did, it's that much more amazing because it's the first time it's in foil. Yeah. So the first time print foil is pretty great for it too. Next one is Entomb. Right now you can pick those up around $5 or less. Seeing those jump back up to 15. Was that printed in a different set? I don't remember.
This was Graveborn.
Oh, that's right.
Masters.
We picked up Graveborn because of that.
So this card was a solid $20 forever. Kind of dropped down to 15 after Eternal Masters. This is a legacy staple with Reanimator, and if you want to run Reanimator strategies in Commander, you go and pick up at least one, but this card should at least double up to 10, but would probably recover up to 15 in my mind.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think you're on. You're on the next one.
Bridge from Below. I've used this as my Smith spec. Of the week. This card tends to go in and out of favor. Right now, it's already down to like $5. But in a couple, this one probably sits for more than a year, in my opinion. But
you just got to wait for that peak.
Yeah.
You wait for that deck to go off. And then
exactly. Once you go boom, it gets play in Modern or Legacy, and it spikes. That's when you're like, hey, move it. But right now, 5 is the low point. This is the perfect time to buy into it, and I can again see it doubling into 10, but it can easily go up to 20.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Next one is Gaddock Teeg. Right now is sitting around 10. You can see this one jumping back up to around $40. What we saw a bunch of Legacy and Vintage that was using it.
Modern uses it as well. Modern
that was
humans.
right. Modern was on that too. Yep.
And if you want to be a dickhead Commander, not let anybody do anything fun, like you run this.
See
as
those counterspell people playing this kind of deck. Like, fine, I won't play counterspell.
I won't play blue.
I'm gonna go into fucking white and green.
White, and I'm gonna play Mana Tide.
Yeah. Douchebags. you know, counterspellers.
I might do it. Just to make you mad.
I won't ever play you again. All right, or I'll just keep beating you in battle boxes. All right, well, why don't we move into our sweet manland?
So we kind of settled on Celestial Colonnade.
We settled on it.
We
did have some discussions between some.
This card is sitting around like $23, something like that. This is used a ton in Modern. It's just even a really good card in Commander. I put this in my white-blue decks, and I think this is something that could easily recover, as Teferi Temporal Mage is a really good card, and it's going to work its way into Modern at least. And I can see this being right alongside it in popular decks like that.
Because then you're untapping 2 lands, and now you have 3 lands because this has Vigilance and all that fun jazz. Vigilance,
and so you're opening up your counter spells, suites, and it just allows you to do so much more.
Yeah. And then our last one on the list, my favorite, Vengevine. Vengevine. Right now it's sitting at around $15. But we definitely could jump back up to 40 easily.
I think it's a pretty popular deck. This is something that's probably going to turn around quicker than a lot of other decks because Vengevine is...
Vengevine.
VV.
The VV.
The VV. It is a fairly popular deck right now in Modern, and this is something that in Standard it was a $40 card, just based off of its just raw power. And this is something that's dropped down before and it's come back up. There's a price memory with $40. I think its ceiling is $40. I wouldn't go much beyond that.
Right.
But
that's a great increase right there from 15 to 40.
Yeah, from 15 up to 40. That's pretty long term. I think you can sit down and sell this $25-$30 a lot easier if you don't want to wait until 40.
Yep. All right, and then we get into basically the uncommons and commons foils. We're not going to really break these down as much, but some of the ones you want to look at picking up, because these are pretty cheap right now. Pick up, all these are foils. So Laboratory Maniac, Kitchen Finks, you have Martyr of Sands, Faithless Looting, Hyena Umbra, Grave Scrabbler.
Meh.
Yeah, Larry's meh about that.
I fought to get that off the list.
I put it on there because it was $1 and its counterpart is $7-8, but it is a future sight design, so it's
and we compromised, and I made him read it instead of me.
And then Gurmag Angler, and then Kamada's Reach.
Kodama's.
Oh, I put Kamada's. Why did we?
It's a Kamada.
Spelling Kamada's Reach. Kodama.
Your mama.
All right. I don't know. That was stupid.
That's aggressive.
Yeah, I don't know.
Your mama.
So all those for your uncommons and commons, you can get pretty cheap. I mean, the most expensive one I had on the list was Laboratory Maniac Kitchen Finks at $6. But then a quick drop off. That was by far the most expensive one. But Kitchen Finks,
I would definitely keep an eye on all of those foils except for.
Shut your mouth. But yeah, so I would definitely look at picking those up. Actually, what was the reach at? You see, I didn't even have to
was
say
like
its
right
name
on
again.
$3.
Was it 3?
Yeah.
Okay, that was the only one I didn't write down because we added that later. All right, so now we get into our top 10, commander cards?
I think these are probably, more commander investments, and or just if you don't have them, they're great to add into your commander collection.
You want to start?
Eh.
You just don't want to do anything anymore. Should we keep podcasting? We're done right
take
now.
it or leave it. Ancient Tomb, which is a land that'll tap for 2 colorless, pay 2 life, or you lose 2 life. Sitting around $20 right now. I think this can easily go up to $50. It's a really good card. It speeds you up quite a bit. 2 life is kind of nothing. It sucks later, like if you're lower.
Well,
but
yeah. It's kind of the same thing as what is it? Mana Vault? Not Mana Vault. Mana Crypt?
Oh, Mana Crypt, yeah.
Yeah. So that one does kind of a similar esque thing,
yeah.
because that's a 0 drop for 2 and 3 damage potentially. 3?
So, that is 3. This is 2. This just like really quickly ramps you though.
Yeah. It was one that I did not have, and I'm glad I had. And another one that I didn't have that I now have is Dark Depths.
Yeah, Dark Depths I think this is going to be a great card. Like, people are probably going to start getting annoyed by it because you're going to see it a lot more in Commander games.
Right.
It's a land. You got to get rid of those tokens somehow.
You can do duplicates.
It's 20/20 flying indestructible.
Well, you do, what
sweet.
is it? The one that's
Thespian
Thespian Stage, and you just copy it, and then it doesn't have counters on it, and you're golden.
Yeah.
So that's also in the set that's not in our
or
list.
Vampire Hexmage, or Aether Snap, or...
There's a lot of ways to remove it. And I actually like the art with this a lot better than the original art, but that's just my personal... Because in the original art, you just kind of... It's very vague. You can't really... It looks like you're looking...
It's like it's in the dark depths.
Right, but this one you're like in the dark depths.
You're in it and you see...
The guy that you're looking at from the other angle. Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
But yeah, right now it's at $20. Easily recover back up to probably 50 or so with that.
Demonic Tutor.
Have we talked about this card before?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have it, go get it. Sitting around $20, it's going to be the lowest it's ever going to be at this point. It's only going to go up. New art, it'll get you any card you want.
Yeah,
land
in that 10-box
everything
video.
Else.
That was the one I was. Every time I got that card in the box, of course it's a $22, $23 card. Of course I'm excited when I got it, but. It is the best. If you're playing we don't do as many tutors as we used to, but if you're playing black and making a consistent deck, this has to be in there because it goes directly into your hand. Vampiric Tutor's nice. It's a 1-drop, but that goes on top of your library, instant, whatever. This, you need something that turn, you freaking get
anything
it.
And everything. Yeah. It's really good.
Next one on the list is Phyrexian Tower. That is the tap and sacrifice a creature, right, and get 2 black land.
Yep.
And I did not have that one as well. So that one sitting around $15, recover nicely to 50 probably.
Yeah, it's hard to say
it's
that
only
it'll
been
get
printed.
up to 50.
Yeah, it's only been printed the one time.
Yeah, and this is an Urza's block land.
So it
was pretty
old.
rare at that point. I can see it doubling because it is a really good casual card, and we were talking about it being in a Nick Fit Legacy, which is also, like we've talked about it before, if it's in multiple formats, used in different ways, you have a better chance of it kind of going up. So,
although Commander drives prices. Commanders!
Because we're the best. Right? Commander people. I was talking to you, not Adam, sorry. That was...
They didn't see that. All right.
We kind of already talked about Phyrexian Altar, but it's sitting around $15. The height was $60. I can easily see this doubling to 30,
yeah,
40 bucks.
It's another
easy.
same thing as Phyrexian Tower there because it first time it's been printed again, you know, or second time it's been printed. Kind of hard to judge. It's easier on these ones that have the Modern Masters been printed. You can see where they go down, and then they come back up, and that's kind of where we were gauging the other things. These are a little bit more difficult to figure out. I don't know if I like the art on this one better or not. I kind of like that little puppet master looking thing in the original Phyrexian Altar. You know what I'm talking about? It's all colorful and cool looking. Boop, 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 boop. All right, I'll just move on then, fucker. Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth. We were incorrect about what that card did.
It's pretty wrong. Sweet, but not as sweet as we were thinking.
Still really good for
just turns everything into swamps.
Doesn't has to be in play.
Has to be in play.
But it is good when you're using with what is it? The Nirkana, not Nirkana. Yeah, Nirkana. But I'm trying to think of
the 4-mana one.
3
that has extort.
What is it? Cryptghast.
Got
it. All right.
You're good. So next one. Do we want to keep on?
No, that's all right.
All right. Maelstrom Pulse,
which use this a lot.
I feel like it's really good. It's fun to hit people's lightning greaves, and this is green-black colorless sorcery, destroy target permanent and everything on the field that has the same name. So everybody plays lightning greaves, soul ring.
I see you more often than not use it on tokens. Is my biggest.
Also
thing.
Gets rid of tokens. Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah,
it's a great card. Sitting around $5, used in modern a little bit. This card is great.
Glen, Elendra, Archmage, around $5 right now.
Is there an echo in here?
Looking at that, probably will recover back up to $15-$20. It's been reprinted before, right? That has been in a Masters. Yes, it was
as well. Yeah. So this card is just really because it has persist, comes back. You can counter multiple spells.
We don't like doing that.
I don't own one, so this is something that I plan on getting at least one of.
I thought you did own one of these bad boys.
I do not.
I can trade you one.
Yeah, no shit.
I got a few of them.
Just about every card you can trade me, but
I can't do it for Monovault. Sorry, I'm all out of stock.
I have 4 of those.
All right, then we move into our last 2.
Eldrazi Conscription. This turns any creature +10/+10 and trample and Annihilator 2.
Amazing.
This is the best. This is the craziest aura out there.
Yeah.
So get it. This one, we talked a little bit about it, but this card is crazy powerful. Like, you put this in Ural, that's a game ender. You put this in Brea. So this card is it's really powerful, pretty fun, and I think this is probably more balanced than just having the Eldrazi Titans in your deck because a little bit more easy to like remove.
Yeah.
So like if people hate having you play the Eldrazi Titans, this is probably the better.
Then you're like, I'm not playing Eldrazi. Yeah. Don't worry, I'm just playing an essence of them. It just has Emrakul in the background. It's not Annihilator 6. You just have Annihilator 2.
That's not as bad, right?
It's only a third as bad.
So yeah, this is something super powerful, and it doesn't even have to go in an aura style deck. No. This can be just
it's a pretty badass 8-drop for. Yeah. I mean, it's gonna do damage.
You put this on your Slippery Boggle.
Oh, man.
An 11/11 trample.
We're talking about Magic still, right? All right, and the last one is Woodfall Primus, and that one is around $1 right now. And this,
I think this is great value.
Yeah, it used in Commander like crazy. It's a good removal spell, or
has
creature persist. So you have 2 of them.
Another good removal spell. It has trample. I have this in my Vivictus Asmati deck because I can sacrifice it and still kill something and have a creature around still, so I don't really lose any value with it. It's a really good card.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen on Goldfish, I've seen Seth build like a part deck on it. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I kind of want to build it. It was a $10 card before. I was like,
yeah,
now I will build it.
So I guess that's the other part of that is some of these that are a little bit cheaper. Woodfall. What is the foils sitting at? Because that might be... So some of these, as we're talking, especially the cheaper versions, you might want to actually look at picking up the foils instead of just the regular non-foil. God, the beer's getting me. I'm burping. Why am I not finding Woodfall? Isn't it $1 right now? There he is. He's at 2 because it was down here when I was doing it.
A little bit.
Just a little. Just a little bit.
This was reprinted in Modern Masters. And it did recover nicely after that reprint as well. It's a pretty high casual card.
Yeah, we were close to $10 before it actually went. Before they announced that it was back into this.
So in the foil Ultimate Masters, sitting around $5-6. The other foils are sitting around 13, 15. So you can get an easy double up in my mind.
Yeah. All right, so I think that does it for our list, right? We are done with all our lists. There is a lot of value in these boxes. That's pretty much what it comes to. I think that's
the whole thing. And the part for me, I'm probably just going to go, like, if we didn't do battle boxes, I probably would have just bought singles, which is most of the time anyway. But
we do the battle boxes for you.
Yeah.
You, the listener. It is fun. Actually, I really
Cracking
enjoyed
packs is kind of fun. It sucks.
To go back to this, like, I know rehashing what we did, but check out that video because it was a lot of fun doing the war style because it was more... It was quicker. That's the other thing. It was a lot quicker. I wouldn't say the shot was necessarily the best part. Our faces afterwards. Oh, yeah, so you get to visually see us for the first time.
I am a little worried about that.
I text Laura, I was like, we're going to be on camera. You better shave. He's like, oh, I'll trim my beard.
Yeah, trim my beard. So, yeah. I'm afraid people will stop listening to us.
Yeah, right.
Once I see my
like, oh, can't watch them
beady,
anymore.
hollow eyes. I don't like that Lowry guy. He's weird.
But yeah, it's a pretty good video. Well, like I said, I'll have that up later in the week, and I will connect it to this if you listen to our podcast later in the week. So I will throw that.
So
edit in there.
I do think, to put a cap on it. If you don't have a ton of cards, you're new to Magic, and you're looking to kind of get into it, this is a really good set to just kind of buy a box because you're going to get a ton of value that'll help with your decks.
But what you were saying is you would more prefer to buy the singles than buy the box.
For me personally, like I did have a bunch of the cards, and like it allows me to specifically pick what I want and need at that point.
I will say going through, and it was 10 boxes worth, but the amount of uncommons and commons that were good were pretty freaking ridiculous. More than anything that we've ever opened. Like the value of those is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And they aren't valuable now. You just have to look at, they've been reprinted before, what they got, what their prices are now. Like even stuff on there is sitting at $2-3 for a common or uncommon. Well, these are still at like 50 cents. That should recover back up to where the prices are of.
It will eventually.
Yeah. So.
And like, Kitchen Finks is going to be a ridiculous value at this point, along with Eternal Witness always recovers. Mm-hmm. So those
with the sweet freaking art.
Yeah.
I definitely like this art better.
So, overall, I think that's my opinion is.
And I'm sticking to it.
I don't know what that's from.
I don't know. All right. It's a good time to end. All right. We'll check you guys next week. But first, we never did our sign-ons.
Oh, we didn't. We were way too excited.
We were.
Hey, we're on Twitter.
Yeah, you can follow us on Twitter at CommanderSmiths.
You can Gmail us at Gmail. CommanderSmiths@gmail.com.
There you go. And you can go to YouTube, which has our other videos that'll be on there, which is CommanderSmiths.
And then we're going to try and put out more content here and there, and we've gotten a lot of really nice positive
that's awesome. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, it's
like
been
seriously
really nice.
It's like to hear all that, it's like fuck,
it's been building us up, and then once the trolls find us,
that's where I'm like,
tear us down.
We aren't big enough yet where we have trolls. We need those damn trolls, then we know we're huge.
That's it.
Now somebody's gonna start freaking just trolling us because I said that. But
and also we're showing our faces, which is just scary in itself.
They're gonna be like, you guys are trolls. What are you talking about?
What gnomes live in your beard?
And then I think that was about it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought there was something else I was going to say.
Just thinking here.
Just going to make but when you get those thoughts and you're like, okay, I got to say this next, and then I got distracted.
You cut off like this whole 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah, this is all going to be gone. It's going to be like we never had this conversation, but I'm more just talking to you. When you have those or when you're like, okay, I'm going to say this next, and then something else distracts you, and then you don't remember.
Yeah, I am that distracting.
Yeah. So, anyways, you guys can catch us next week.
3 minutes gone.
Shut up! I can't cut that if you're in the middle of the exit.
No, you definitely can.
I will. All right, we will. This isn't working.
We gotta be straight faced too.
All right, we'll see. We'll see you guys next week.
All right, thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye.
Just the giggles again.